EU has just brought forward into law a digital ID.
EU's much delayed new border control system means that non-EU nationals, including people from the UK, will have to register their fingerprints and a photo before being allowed into the bloc.
If you're thinking about traveling to the UK, you're going to need one in less than 90 days. They've issued a date sometime in November. It's not a firm date just yet. So it's actually going to be 70 days from now. This is here. This is basically right now. In America, they're bringing forward something called the Real ID, which is coming into law next year. You'll need this to travel anywhere throughout America.
Changes are coming to travel requirements if you want to fly within the United States.
The new deadline for domestic flyers is now May 7th, 2025.
Make sure your state-issued driver's license or ID card is Real ID compliant. And if you don't, you won't be able to board flights or access federal facilities.
Now, they've talked for a very, very long time about, social credit and things like that. And, a year, 2 years, 3 years ago, that would have seemed far-fetched, tinfoil hat type of conversation. But now, it's getting a lot more real. It's getting a lot more real. A Chinese-style social credit system is coming to America. This came out May of 2024. Came out just a few months ago. Then, they kind of peppered this in a few years ago, saying America's own social credit system coming soon. Well, it's here now. It's here now. This will require most citizens of countries outside of the EU to create a digital record and register their biometric details, such as providing fingerprints and having their photo taken, when they enter the Schengen area. This should only take a few minutes for each person to do. British travelers will need to do this on their first visit to the EU after EES is introduced. Their record will be checked on point of entry into the Schengen area, verifying either their fingerprints or photograph. So this is what's happening. It's happening really, really quickly. And in America, this is kind of where we're starting. Deadline, May 5th, 2025. So, that's right around the corner. Right around the corner, May 5th, 2025. And they say that you're going to need this to basically fly anywhere domestically. Anywhere. So what's the difference between the Real ID and a standard driver's license? And they say the difference is between the Real ID and a standard driver's license is that Real ID is a more secure form of identification. Nothing's going to be more secure than a digital ID, right? It's being solely walked in. The form of this identification is accepted at airports following you to board domestic flights in the U.S., entering federal buildings and access certain military bases. A standard driver's license does not. So you start to look at where this is all going and you'll realize how fast we're moving into the direction of digital IDs. Now, what I believe is going to happen next is I believe there's going to be a good percentage of people that are going to say, you know what, I don't want this. I don't want to have a digital ID. I'm not going to do it. These people won't be able to travel, right? Which is kind of in line with what they would like initially. They would prefer less travel, say it's better for the environment. And, you start to look at what Europe's doing. Europe's ditching planes for trains. And, it's not just Europe, other locations here. Spain planned to ban domestic flights where you can take train in under 2.5 hours. So if you can take a train, then they would prefer you to take the train rather than flying. And in here, it says the total impact of a single flight is so high that avoiding just one trip can be equivalent to going in a gasoline-free car for a year. Now, what I think is likely going to happen is I believe we're going to start to see a roll-up of airlines, meaning certain airlines are going to acquire other airlines. We're going to see this consolidation, and as that begins to happen, it's going to get more and more and more expensive to fly. I think the cost of flying is going to really go up in the coming years.